Hello, captains. It's me, TONIK TZW, and I'm here in division with one of my fleet mates, Jonesy. And the background there is the fjords, a little homage to Jonesy there because he lives out in Norway. He's in the Bismarck, I'm in the Picardy, and we decided to have some fun with our secondary ships and do a little bit of brawling. We're here on Trident. It is domination. There's one destroyer per team and ours is going to be a little bit lacking. We are top tier in this match, but let's get into it. We spawn on B cap, and I tell Jonesy, let's go straight forwards, try and clatter something, and then hang a hard right across the A cap and go across that way, because I know that most people generally go left on this map, but we aren't. We are going to go right, going against the grain, going against what everybody normally does. And I've called this one red light, green light, because if you've watched that thing called, what is it, Squid Games, I've never watched it, but I know about it. And I know there's a game in there called red light, green light, where you have to stop or you get shot. And that is exactly what we are going to do in this game. It is going to be a game of timing and I don't want to say precision because some of my shells go a bit all over the place on this one. But that guy's now there. He is going to spend the entire match running, and we'll point him out. But there go our secondaries. We've got HE coming in on us from a cruiser. Our DD is there contested on the camp. There is radar out there, but is that cruiser close enough? No, he's not. Yes, he is. There we go. We've got our main guns loaded. He's right on the edge of our secondary range, but we're going to pop as many shots as we can out at that Tashkent 39 6-year player, but he's going to get himself so far out of position and run down and killed. But I'm on to Jonesy and saying, come on, DD should push this capture point now. We're probably going to have torpedoes coming our way. There they are. Am I going to soak one? Yes, I am. We're going to damage control that and pop a heal because we're going to push into this cap. Now, we can see that there is the shadow of a cruiser there just behind this island. It's an Atlanta. I believe he's already burned his radar, and Jonesy is going to pop his sonar and light him up like a Christmas tree as we come around this corner. And I was thinking, has the Atlanta got torps? Yes, he has. But there's the Chapayev's radar. That's great. We can see the Atalanta. We're going to continue pushing out. We know we've got a battleship behind the island right in front of us, but I'm thinking this guy is flat broadside. I've got to wait, be patient, let the guns get clear of this island, and this should be a first blood dev strike, don't you think? Well, guess what? There we go. Shots out, and we get one over penetration. Literally every other shell missed. My secondaries are doing more damage to that guy than I did with my main guns. And if RNG isn't giving that guy a chance, then I don't know what's happening with this game. But the secondaries are going to rule. We don't need to worry about him. Chapayev is going to be our next target as we pick up the, well, my first kill of the game with a close quarters expert there. We put a shot at the chappie. We are burning. We're going to turn into this island, and this is where the red light, green light comes into it, because we're going to stop. We're not going to damage control that fire. We're going to let it burn down. We know this battleship is there behind the island. He has got himself in a really, really difficult position. Our destroyer and the battleship have chased down Red Team's destroyer and gotten rid of him, so that's a bonus to us. I've said it before and I'll say it again that generally the team with its destroyers left alive is the one that is going to win the game because you have got somebody that can spot for you. And their torpedoes do a lot of damage as well. Now, I do think about pushing round and getting some shots on this Chapayev. We know that there's another battleship right on the other side of this island, and we know that there is another battleship there, the Alabama, at the back, and we're just looking for position. Now, it would have been good to go left and right around this island, but what we didn't want to do was to basically open ourselves up to fire from both directions. So I'm going to tell the destroyer there to go across to Bravo Cap because it is wide open. There's the guys now that started across there on Charlie Cap, and he's made it nearly all the way across this side of the map, and he will eventually change his mind and start going in the opposite direction again. The reason I'm spotted, I believe, is because of this Amagi here, who's probably running the 3K what's it called? I can't remember what it's called now. RGA mod 3Ks. But again, broadside Amagi, we get a handful of penetrations. We get some over penetrations, no citadels at all. I remembered luckily that I do have a reload booster, so surely we take him down this time. No, we get 5 and 5 on that one. Everybody's trying to pick up the kill. The Chapayev gets it, and he's put his torps out there, which was completely unnecessary because you don't get anything for torpedoing a wreck. But he trades a chunk of hit points sailing out broadside, and now the Alabama is going to have a pop at him too. I'm burning again, but again, we're going to let that fire tick and burn. We're going to put a shot out at Chapayev, and then we're looking around as to what is going on around us. The Alabama is coming on this direction, so we are going to use the island to put in a turn. We're watching the fire count down. Jonesy and I, obviously, we're brawling ships. We've got secondary builds on. We're going to pop another heal, and we're going to let that one run up and regenerate our hit points before we push round on the Alabama. He is on his own now. He's got no support. It's me, Jonesy, a cruiser, and I think it's a Colorado as we lose a Veneto from the other side of the map. But we go high on the Alabama, going for superstructure. We get 2 over penetrations and 2 bounces out of all of that. So again, RNG giving somebody a little bit of special treatment here, I think. But we're going to try and stay a little bit angled, close in, get as many secondaries as we can, and we do take some fire from the other side of the map. Now, what I'd like to do is get rid of this Alabama and then go bow into them, and then he starts coming for me, and I'm thinking, can we take a turret out here? We're going to go high. We're going to go for the turrets there. We're looking amongst all the splashes, but the shots go wild. We get 8 penetrations, 4 overpens, and 2 shatters on that one, and we're turning out. And I'm sure that I'm going to be dead right now, but our destroyer manages to land a torpedo on him. That is good going. We're around, what are we, just over 200 points up. The destroyer, he got the hint. He went and took the open cap. There is the Gneiss now. As I said, he ran away from that side of the map. He ran to this side of the map, and now he is running to the other side of the map. Red team have 2 cruisers and 2 battleships, one of which is a Jean Bart, who we can't see yet. Oh, look, there he is, doing Jean Bart things. He's going to be bow tanking and reversing. Why does Jean Bart know how to do nothing apart from that? Jonesy and I are now in the slow, slow sail. We want to keep pushing in towards these guys. We want to be at a good angle to that Jean Bart. He is in range. There is the Belfast. Yep, he's a nasty fire starter, but we're just trying to decide on what we're going to shoot at here. So Jean Bart is starting his French reverse. Same letters, different spelling. But we put a couple of shots there at the Jean Bart, and I should have held it for this Belfast, but Jonesy's onto the Belfast there. Belfast is going to start shooting at me. We are out of heals. We are out of reload boosters. Otherwise, we could have potentially gotten a shot on that guy. The Zara is angled out and broadside. Looks like he's putting a turn in, so we ripple through the turrets there, trying to push him away from thinking about coming into that capture point. And now we're going to lock our guns to the left as the other two members of our team slowly come in behind us. Zara's there. He's got those quite long range but slow torpedoes, and they do take forever to get anywhere. The Gneisenau is still running, and of course, the Bismarck is going to continue to wail on me. We've got 20 seconds to burn. He's going to get another fire, which knocks that back up to an entire minute. I'm not running will to rebuild. We haven't got fight fire with fire on this one. So now I want to stay dark. I'm not going to try to blind fire that smoke screen. We damage control, radar comes up from the Belfast. We're going to try for a shot on the Zara. And again, we're going to do red light, green light. We're going to pull in behind this island. We get a tickle on the Zara, and we're going to block that Belfast from being able to get a shot on us. Zara's going to have a go. All he does is kill a few seagulls, and the Bismarck is now on the edge of the capture point, spotted by Jonesy and the Colorado behind us, and Jonesy picks up the kill. Beautifully done. So now we are on red light. We're waiting for the damage control to count down. I'm trying to have a look and see what that Jean Bart is doing. And because he's battle tanking, I'm going to switch to high explosive. Because if he's got a bow tank, we are going to burn him. That's the only thing you can do with a bow tanking JB, unless you've got a destroyer who can push round and flank it and get his torpedoes on and then keep him spotted for you. But this destroyer is going to do something that was so dumb, I've probably done it myself. Gneisenau still running. We're going to blind fire him. We can't see him. We should have waited for that one, but we can get a shot off without getting spotted because we are screened from the Jean Bart. Look at that dispersion. If I'd have sat on the coast of France and fired those, I think I would have hit every province in France with the dispersion that I had on those shells. We're on one kill. We've got a few assists there. We've got a few fires. We've got a chunky handful of secondary hits. And we are going to continue now by pushing out into this Jean Bart. And there we go. The destroyer fires his torpedoes, and then he fires his gun before he's inside his smoke screen. So a little word of warning there for destroyer players. Pop the smoke, make sure that you are covered before you start firing your guns. Otherwise, things like that John Bart are going to absolutely slap and tickle you back to port. And the John Bart has obviously gone on Jonesy because he's a slightly lower HP than me. But both of our secondaries here are wailing on this guy. He can't really do a lot, but I'm wary of that Gnyze now, still running as Jonesy picks up a close quarters kill. I get a fourth hand job ribbon there, and now we are going to push into C. The game is practically won. We do not need to win harder. We can potentially afford to lose myself and Jonesy, and we would still win this game with the time remaining because red team only have one cap. Now we know that the Gneisenau is running, so there's a good chance that he is going to be heading away from us. So we're going to leave high explosive loaded. We do still have a cruiser with us, so if we get a fire and he damage controls it, there's still a good chance that somebody else can get another fire on him. It's very slow going in battleships, and it's one of the reasons I prefer playing destroyers. It's a much faster, more dynamic way of playing the game. But as you can see from this video, I'm not absolutely terrible at playing battleships either. I fire one turret off just to see if I do get spotted. I tell everybody that he's likely behind the island because I didn't get spotted, and he's probably going to come out from behind that island at some point. There isn't enough time to take this capture point with what is remaining on the clock, but he is going to come out and get himself spotted, and he is going to try and blind fire this cap and get some cap resets, which is probably all that he could have earned from this game. So there he is. He's just on the limit of range, still sailing away from us. Yep, you're not going to hit anything with those. And the game draws to a close, just under 124,000 damage. We get a fireproof off that one. We get a close quarters kill. But the best thing about it was all those hand jobs I got were the kills that Jonesy got. And we pop up to the top of the lot in positions 1 and 2. And when you consider the Chapayev and the North Carolina just followed us around, we were a fair way ahead of those guys as well. So it just goes to show that brawling isn't completely dead. And if you know how to brawl and how to push and how to play a ship well and use what is available to you as best you can, you too can come out top of the lot in a brawling battleship. It isn't all about long range sniping. Don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and as always, until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.